grass room. Smoke rose from cooking fires. Farmers carried hose over their shoulders and walked toward fields. Children screaming. Bottles of firewood. Fishermen headed toward the river with woven nets and fishing nets. Before the sun climbed into the sky. But while everyone else worked, Vivu slept. He often lay beneath the shade of a huge mango tree beside a tiny mud hut near the edge of the village. He slept so deeply that goats swung past him, and chickens pecked near his feet without waking him. Whenever villagers passed by and saw him resting while everyone else worked, in disappointment. One morning, an old grandmother carrying sweet potatoes stopped beside him. "Vivu," she said. "The entire village is awake and working. Why are you still sleeping?" Vivu stretched lazily, yawned loudly, hands behind head. "Life is too short to suffer in the sun," he replied carelessly. The grandmother sighed deeply and continued walking. Another day, the village chief himself passed near Vivu's hut. Several young men repaired broken fenway. The chief stopped and stared at him. "You are strong and healthy," the chief said firmly. "Why do you refuse to work like everyone else?" Vivu sat up slowly and smiled. "Chief," he said lazily, "work only makes tired." The young men nearby burst into laughter, while the chief frowned with disappointment. "A lazy man," the chief warned, "eventually creates trouble for himself." Vivu only should. Inside, he believed he was smarter than everyone else, because he always looked for the easiest in life. Vivu lived completely alone in his small hut. He owned no donkey, no bicycle, and no cart heavy things. Whenever he needed water, he carried two large yellow jerrycans balanced across a wooden stick on his shoulders. Unfortunately for him, the river was very far away. To reach it, one had to walk through winding, dusty paths, covered with tall grass and thick bushes. The narrow trail passed rocky hillsides, thorny trees, and lonely forests where strange sounds echoed during the evening hours. Many villagers feared the path at night because stories often spread about wild animals wandering near the riverbanks. Hunters sometimes claimed they'd seen wolves hiding in the tall grass after sunset. sunset. Whether the stories were true or not, nobody knew for certain. Still, bravely fetch water because they had families to feed and children to care for. Bavu hated carrying heavy jerrycans more than anything. Every trip to the river felt like punishment to him. One hot morning, Bavu filled his jerrycans with water and began a long climb back toward the village. The sun burned fiercely overhead. Sweat rolled down his face. Musk clung to his legs. Halfway up, his shoulder aching terribly. Finally, he dropped the heavy jerrycans beside a large rock and collapsed onto the ground, breathing. These jerrycans are too heavy, he moaned angrily. an easier way. The wind blew subtly through the tall grass nearby. For a moment, Mvivu stared quietly at the distant village across the valley. Then, suddenly, clever, a dishonest idea entered his mind. See, a sly smile spread across his face. Oh yes, he whispered quietly. Worked perfectly. In that moment, trouble truly began. He quickly stood up beside the dusty path and looked around carefully. The area was completely quiet. Only birds chirped near the river, while the wind rustled through the bushes. And he took a deep breath. Then suddenly he screamed as he could. Help! Help! A wolf! A wolf near the river! His voice echoed across the valley. Birds flew wildly from the trees. Goats scattered across nearby hillsides. Back in the village, people stopped work immediately. Women dropped baskets of vegetables. Farmers abandoned their hoes in the fields. Children stopped playing. Young men grabbed sticks, spears, and machetes before running toward the river. A wolf! Shouted one farmer. Quickly! Someone may be hurt! Cried another. Dust rose behind villagers as they hurried down the narrow paths. Meanwhile, Vivu quickly rubbed dirt onto his clothes, pretended to tremble with fear. The villagers finally arrived. They found him standing beside the jerrycans, breathing heavily. "There's a wolf!" shouted one villager. "Did it attack you?" asked another anxiously. Miu pointed dramatically toward the bushes. It was huge, cried. Its eyes were glowing. It almost ate me. The village leaped out, searching through the grass and checked the muddy ground for tracks. Others searched behind rocks and trees. But there was no wolf, no footprints, no broken branches. Silence. The villagers slowly gathered again, looking unsuspiciously. "Are you certain, Wolf?" he asked carefully. But quickly. "Yes, it ran away when it heard you come." The villagers exchanged uncertain glances. Some believed him, others quietly doubted the story. Just as Everyone prepared to leave. Mivu rubbed his shoulders dramatically and sighed loudly. Jerkins feel too heavy after all this fear. Sadly, I do not think I can carry them home. An old villager felt sorry for him. The poor man nearly lost his life, he said kindly. Two strong young men stepped forward immediately. We shall help him. They lifted the heavy yellow gems onto their shoulders and carried them all the way back to Mvivu's hut. As they walked ahead, Mvivu followed slowly behind them, hiding a smile. That was easy, he whispered happily to himself. That evening, Mvivu sat inside his hut eating porridge beside a lantern. Outside, crickets chirped peaceful in the darkness. Mvivu laughed quietly. For the first time in many years, carrying water had become easy, and he planned to repeat the trick again. A few days later, he turned to the river once more, and cool wind moved through the hills. Fishermen repaired their net beside the bank and filled clay pots with water nearby. Mvivu filled his jerkins and began climbing the sea path home. At first he walked confidently. Before long, exhaustion returned. Toward his face, his knees trembled. The wooden stick dug painfully into his shoulders. This work is unbearable, he groaned. And suddenly, he remembered the villagers carrying the jerkin for him during the previous trip. A grin slowly appeared on his face. Without hesitation, he dropped the jerkins and screamed even louder than before. Wolf! Wolf, help me! The wolf had returned. His death cries. Echoed across the valley when, back in the village, panic spread quickly. Dogs barked wildly. Children ran indoors. Several men grabbed clubs and machetes before rushing toward the river. The village chief hurried along the path carrying a spear, but when they arrived, they found Mvivu standing safely beside his jerkin once again. Where's the wolf now? Asked the chief suspiciously. Mvivu quickly pointed for the distant forest. He escaped into the before you arrived, he lied. The villagers searched for a long time. Some checked muddy footprints near the river, searched deep inside the bushes. Still no wolf. Not even broken grass. The hunter, who often tracked animals, his head slowly. Wolf leaves signs behind, he muttered quietly. The villagers were confused. Some looked worried. Others looked doubtful. But Mvivu acted frightened and weak. My knees are shaking badly, he complained. Please help me carry the water home. Several villagers hated this time. A woman whispered to her friend, I think Mvivu is tricking us. But another one replied nervously, what if the wolf escaped before we arrived? The villagers remained uncertain. Finally, two young men reluctantly lifted the jerkins again and carried them back toward the village. As they walked away, the village chief remained silent. He watched Mvivu carefully with narrowed eyes. Meanwhile, later that evening, sat alone inside a hut, drinking warm beside the lantern light. And tapped softly against the roof while he far across a hill and laughed quietly to himself. "They believe me," he whispered proudly. And outside his hut, hidden beneath the darkness and moving silently through the tall grass. From afar, weeks passed, and the villagers slowly returned to their normal routines. Though many still whispered suspiciously whenever he passed by, some people believed him. Others did not, but everyone agreed on one thing. Mvivu always seemed to meet wolves only when his jerrycans became too heavy. One hot afternoon, the sun burned so fiercely that even goats hid beneath trees. Birds sat quietly with their beaks open from the heat, and farmers tied wet cloths around their heads while working. Meanwhile, Mvivu slowly dragged his two yellow jerrycans to the river once again. He grumbled the entire journey. "This river moves farther away every day," he complained loudly. An old fisherman nearby laughed. "No, Mvivu," he replied. "Your laziness simply grows larger every day." Several fishermen burst into laughter while Mvivu frowned angrily. After filling the jerrycans, he began the long walk uphill toward the village. At first, he walked confidently. Then the heat struck him like fire. Sweat soaked his clothes. Dust stuck to his legs. The wooden stick dug painfully into his shoulders until he felt as though ants were biting him. Finally, halfway uphill, he dropped the jerrycans beside the path with a loud thud. "Water's too heavy," he groaned dramatically. "Even elephants would struggle carrying this." Passing nearby looked at him curiously before wandering away. Mvivu walked from his face and glanced toward the distant village. Then suddenly, familiar dishonest returned. With shame, he cupped his hands around his mouth and screamed loudly, "Help! Help! The wolf is attacking!" His voice echoed across the valley once again. This time, however, the villagers did not react with pure fear. They reacted with anger. Farmers threw down their hoes in frustration. Women rolled their eyes while picking at their baskets. Sparked as if they too were tired of Mvivu's stories. Still, some villagers worried that perhaps danger was truly near. So they grabbed spears, torches, and clubs before hurrying toward the river cautiously. The village chief himself came running. When they arrived, found Mvivu standing safely beside his jerrycans yet again. No scratches, no torn clothes, no wolf. And the villagers searched every bush, each every. The old hunter knelt beside the ground, searching carefully for tracks. Once again, nothing. Not even a broken twig. Finally, an old grandmother folded her arms tightly across her chest and stared directly. "You are lying," she said firmly. The villagers became silent. Mvivu pretended to look deeply offended. "How can you accuse me?" he cried dramatically. "I was scared before you arrived." The old grandmother snored loudly. "That wolf must be the fastest animal in Africa," she replied. "It disappears quicker than smoke." The villagers burst into laughter. Each chief struggled not to smile. Then his face became serious again. He slowly walked toward Mvivu and pointed at the jerrycans. "We have noticed something strange," the chief said carefully. Mvivu swallowed nervously. "Each time there's supposedly a wolf," the chief continued, "your water somehow ends up carried by other people." The villagers nodded in agreement. One young man laughed loudly. "Yeah, the wolf fears only heavy jerrycans." Another shouted jokingly, "Perhaps the wolf works as Mvivu's servant." Everyone laughed again. except Mvivu. The chief frowned deeply. Mvivu, he warned sternly. If you can, one day nobody will believe you even when you truly need help. But Mvivu only nodded carelessly. Inside, he still believed he was clever than everyone else. And secretly, he still expected the village